This is something that people have been asking me to do quite some time on this channel. You know, I've been asked like a gazillion times if I will be doing ever in my life like UFC predictions. Like, I don't know what it is. I guess the MMA community really likes UFC predictions. So here you go. Here are my preview and predictions for UFC 209. No, I will not be predicting every single UFC card. I'll be predicting UFC Live or UFC Fight Pass issue. I will not be doing that. That's a waste of my time, and it's a waste of your time. I'm only going to be predicting the main cards, aka the number cards. Card looks interesting enough to me. So sorry if that hurts people's feelings, but that's just how it is when it comes down to it. UFC 209 recap. I'll probably be doing that Sunday, mainly because I work Saturday night and I close. So yeah, I probably will be doing that Sunday. Probably will try to catch the fights Saturday. If anyone knows any good websites where you can catch the fights after they air, let me know, let a brother know, so that way I can be able to watch the fights right away. So yeah, and there's no way I can do the recap Saturday night for anyone who's wondering. The reason being is because I'm working till like 12:30 at night, so there's no way I'm doing the fucking recap. You have a better chance at like Uriah Faber coming back out of retirement than me doing a recap. So yeah, there we go. UFC 209 preview and predictions, and then also other MMA discussions. Big breaking news in the MMA world. Dana White, Uncle Dana, dropping a bombshell on UFC 209 weekend. So about UFC 209, 2 title fights, 1 welterweight championship, and the interim lightweight championship is on the line this Saturday. We have the rematch between Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Tyron Woodley from their epic encounter at UFC 205. And then we finally get Khabib versus Tony Ferguson. This has like been a fight that they've been wanting to do for a long time. The first time that this fight was scheduled, look at that, Khabib got injured. That seems like Khabib's like type of thing. It's like every time a fight's scheduled, every time there's like a big time fight, Khabib just likes to get injured. But you know, he's trying to prove to Conor that he's worth the money fight, so he's not going to get injured anymore. So there you go. If you guys are watching this live with me, please share this with the people. And if not, if you're watching it via the archive, that's okay as well. Make sure you guys just give this video a big old thumbs up. Anyways, I don't know anyone that's on the prelims at all. I'm being dead fucking serious. At one point in time, I was a big time UFC MMA nerd where I would know like the most obscure fighters. I don't know anyone anymore. Okay, I'm sorry. So I'm sorry to Lurie, Alsa Katrana, and Luke Sanders, Mirsad Baktek and Darren Elkins, Marcin Tiberiya and Luis Henrique, and Mark Godbeer versus Daniel Spitz. Oh my god, dude, what the who are these people? Well, I guess Todd Duffy was supposed to face Mark Godbeer, but this is what I'm reading on this Wikipedia page right here. But god dang, dude, who are these people? Anyway, so time to talk about the official fight card. First fight that's actually interesting, Lando Vantana taking on David Tamer. If I remember correctly, both these guys are undefeated. But I remember like they're like pretty good fighters. Like these are good prospects in the lightweight division. Like these guys are actually like banners too. Like they love to like just kill each other. I don't know anything about these guys. I haven't seen Lando Vantana fight. I haven't seen David Tamer fight. That's why I'm talking about this fight first, because I don't know these guys. And so I'm sorry to all these hardcore MMA fans that are like, oh, I watched Lando Vantana on World Series of Poker and everything like that. I'm sorry. Good for you. I'm glad you followed his career. And David Tamer, the dude don't even have a Wikipedia page, so you can't even like click to like bullshit like you know his career. But I'm pretty sure this will be a good fight. I hope it's a good fight. They're lightweights. You know, they have like 2 big time lightweights fighting above them. Maybe they can make some noise on this card. So yeah, that's all. I'm hoping for a good fight. I don't care who really wins this one, but I'll go with the guy that has a Wikipedia page and Lando Vantana. The heavyweight bout between Alistair Dareem Overeem taking on Mark Hunt. Last time we saw Mark Hunt, he was too busy complaining about Brock Lesnar taking estrogen blockers and being a big bad cheater, crying about the UFC not doing a good job protecting the fighters, protecting the boys in the back. Mark Hunt was very upset with the UFC and has just been on a rampage. And the last time we saw Overeem, he got knocked out so hard by Stipe Miocic that he thought Stipe Miocic tapped out in the heavyweight title fight. As you guys know, I'm a Dutch man. I have Dutch heritage. So, of course, biasly, I'm rooting for Overeem. I kind of actually do want Overeem to win this fight, just that way I can see Mark Hunt complain and cry a little bit more. You know, I get it that Brock Lesnar cheated and did estrogen blockers, and he may have been on the roids, he may have not been. But really, to be honest here, Mark Hunt, I don't think Brock Lesnar taking you down and just laying on top of you was endangering your life whatsoever. I just felt that you were pissy that you didn't get paid Brock Lesnar money because, let's face it, Mark Hunt, you're never going to be a fucking draw in the UFC. All you do is get knockouts on heavyweights who lost their fucking chins. I hope Overeem knocks you out. And then afterwards, I hope Overeem doesn't test positive. And then you can whine and cry on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani all you want. So I'm going to protect Alistair Overeem. Honestly, Mark Hunt's really a one-dimensional fighter at this point in his career. He just needs to hope for the knockout. That's all he needs to hope for. That's all Mark Hunt is at this point in his career. He hopes to hit the walk-away knockout. Overeem, I feel like he's going to go back to his wrestling roots. Especially if you watch the Lesnar fight, I don't see why Alistair Overeem would do anything else but not just take down Mark Hunt and lay on top of him and make this fight extremely boring. Sounds like fun, doesn't it, guys? Sounds absolutely delightful. Middleweight bout. Rashad Evans taking on Dan Kelly. Kelly's on this card? I thought Dan Kelly was like an Australian exclusive. Like, this guy only fights in Australia. Oh, God. So, I didn't even know this fight was happening. Rashad Evans has been looking to debut at middleweight, which seems like forever. Originally, Rashad Evans was supposed to fight Tim Kennedy. That fight never really fell through. Tim Kennedy recently lost to Gegard Mousasi and then retired. But Rashad Evans finally got medically cleared to fight, so I guess that's a good thing. And he's taking on against the judo specialist and Dan Kelly. Dan Kelly is an old man. Like, you would think, like, if you look at his record and everything like that, that this guy is probably like some fresh upcoming prospect. I mean, I guess he's considered a prospect. I guess you can really say that. Like, you know, he's not really like a big name, so I guess he's considered a prospect, but he's not really like a traditional prospect, where a traditional prospect is like 22 to 27 years old. Like, Dan Kelly's like 39 years old, like 38, 39 years old last time I checked. So, like, Dan Kelly's an old man, but he's faced some dudes. And this is actually a good matchup for Rashad, to be honest. Like, a judo fighter, a guy that will be looking to take it to the ground, a guy who's strong at the middleweight division. This is going to be a good test for Rashad Evans. This is going to see if Rashad Evans is a much more stronger fighter at the middleweight division than he is at the light heavyweight division. And, you know, we shouldn't count Rashad out of this one. Even though, yes, Rashad hasn't looked as great as he used to be, Rashad is still a former champion in the UFC. And it takes a lot of skill to be a former champion in the UFC and to be a guy that held that title. I know at the time Rashad held the title, the light heavyweight title felt like it was moving around from place to place to place, but Rashad's still a former champion, and he's a respectable fighter. Someone that has good wrestling, nice boxing combinations, able to close the gap, and is very good in the clinch. So they really can't count Rashad Evans out in this fight. I can see Dan Kelly going with the upset, and in fact, I don't know the betting odds for this. Maybe next time I'll have betting odds open so that way I can throw some bets on Dan Kelly. But I wouldn't be surprised if Dan Kelly got the upset, which would be a nice little bet if you want to go over to that route. But I'm going to go stick with the old reliable and Rashad Evans. There's my prediction there. All right, lightweight bout. Khabib Nurmagomedov taking on Tony Ferguson. This is for the interim lightweight championship. Where were these two fighters last time? Tony Ferguson was kicking some dude's ass. I forgot who the hell he beat, but he beat someone. And Khabib beat up Michael Johnson and thought he was going to become a #1 contender. Conor McGregor won the lightweight championship. And since Conor McGregor does whatever the fuck Conor McGregor wants, Conor McGregor said, oh, I ain't fighting. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. My wife is pregnant or girlfriend is pregnant, so I'm going to be gone for a little bit, which means there's no lightweight champion. And the two #1 contenders are going at it. in Khabib and Tony Ferguson. And this fight right here has been one that the UFC has been wanting to do for quite some time. Both Tony Ferguson and Khabib have been ranked like top 4 in the lightweight division for at least 2 years. Like, they just have been really, really good fighters. Probably some of the best fighters you will see in the lightweight division. Khabib, pretty much just an excellent sambo fighter, tremendous wrestler. He takes you to the ground. It's hard to get up. Ground and pound like a maniac. Just smooth in transitions. Has great placement with the takedowns. Khabib is just one of those fighters. You like, if you're just someone that is like striking, you don't want to face Khabib. Like, Khabib is not like George St. Pierre, where GSP will do the simple double leg takedown and then lay on top of you and punch you. Khabib is looking to transition. He's looking to put you in a crucifix. He's looking to put you in a full mount. He's looking to put you in a bad position so that way he can just lay down the hammers and knock you out. That's what Khabib is trying to do. Khabib on the ground is really, really dangerous. The only thing about Khabib and his weaknesses is that he's not really that strong of a stand-up fighter. His punches are very loopy. He likes to take way too many big steps before he actually throws his punches. I don't know what the hell he's doing there, but he doesn't really have any quick jab. He doesn't really have any good feints or setups. And this kind of plays into Tony Ferguson's advantage. Tony Ferguson is a guy who's been an amateur boxer before, a guy that has really good boxing and really good counter-striking skills, is not that good. You know, he's not a bad wrestler per se. He's a decent enough wrestler, but he's not anywhere on Khabib's level. But Tony Ferguson, if you ask anyone who is the more well-rounded fighter, I think a lot of people would say Tony Ferguson is. Yes, Khabib is probably maybe the better fighter in terms of statistics and everything like that. But Tony Ferguson's the more well-rounded fighter, while Khabib, it's more of like, hey, can he take you down? If he doesn't take you down, what is he going to do? Honestly, if Tony Ferguson wants to win this fight, he really, really, really needs to get Khabib hurt early and finish it off. Because I don't see Tony Ferguson winning this fight. I see Khabib wrestling him to the freaking moon. Unless Tony Ferguson learned like the ultimate takedown defense of his life, I just don't see how Tony Ferguson is going to beat Khabib. Khabib is just one of those guys where he can take you down at will. He puts your hands on you, you're going to go down. He's like Daniel Cormier, except when Daniel Cormier is facing John Jones. You know, he will take you down. He will throw you to the ground, and he will beat you up. And Tony Ferguson, I don't think he'll be able to handle that kind of pressure that Khabib is going to put on. I really do think Khabib is going to win this fight, but I don't think it's going to be a decisive win where he's going to win by knockout. I think it's definitely going to either go to decision or maybe like a corner stoppage in like the 4th round. I don't think Khabib is going to like freaking like knock out Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson is a tough dude. And Tony Ferguson could easily win this fight. It's not like Tony Ferguson is like should be written off. If he can stop a takedown and rock Khabib early and throw off Khabib's momentum of when he should level change and when he should try to take down Ferguson, that will help him out tremendously. But when it comes down to it, Khabib is just overall, to me, like, if he takes you down, you're not getting back up. So, yeah, that's my prediction there. Khabib to go on to fight Conor McGregor in Russia, and it'll be like the craziest UFC of all time. All right, and then the main event, Tyron Woodley defending his championship again against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Hey, Tyron Woodley, he's a champion now. I mean, he did defend his championship. Tyron Woodley is one of those more interesting fighters that you'll see. At a glance, he doesn't really fight like he is a champion. You wouldn't think he is a champion by looking at him without a belt. But Tyron Woodley is a champion, and it's kind of awkward seeing him as a champion. I know everyone's going to be like, I don't know what the fuck you just said there, Chase, but that's just how I feel. I just feel he's not really a champion. He is a very interesting fighter. He's a good wrestler. Has nice power because he has very, very strong legs. A vicious right hand. Someone that has really good feints. Not really a great jab. He just really has a great hook. He doesn't really have that many good setup punches. And what I mean by setup punches, like a jab or a cross or body shots, he's not really that good at like with the setup punches. He's good with the I'm going to knock you the fuck out punches and the power punches, but he doesn't really have many of those setup punches that really get fighters thinking of, okay, what is he going to throw next? He has a nice leg kick, but nothing too special. Overall, Tyron Woodley is more effective when he's a wrestler and he's able to take people down. Now, he's not like Khabib. He's a good wrestler, but not on Khabib's level or Daniel Cormier. I would just say he's a good wrestler. He's someone that has good wrestling skills, able to take you down if he needs to, and able to prevent a takedown on him. A decent submission fighter. But overall, Tyron Woodley, he is just kind of like, hey, I hope I can hit you with my right hook because that will knock you out. He doesn't do well in scrambles, in my personal opinion. I feel like if he gets scrambled up, he kind of backs off a little bit too much. And sometimes for even being a power striker, someone that is prideful and knocking people out, he's kind of hesitant at times. Doesn't really go for it. Just kind of waits and sees. And I guess that's what you're supposed to do as a champion and everything. But Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, karate-based fighter. You know, if you barely watch fighting, you're kind of confused with his style because Wonderboy fights with his hands down all the time, so he looks like he's being disrespectful to his opponent. But Wonderboy is just has so much length on a lot of opponents that he faces, and he's able to move back and he's able to like use his kicks. Like, you know, Wonderboy, when it comes down to it, his kicks are his biggest weapons. A lot of fighters use their hands and their fists, you know, to set up their takedowns, to set up their jabs, to set up their power combinations and everything like that. Wonderboy uses his kicks to set everything up. He has a nice leg kick, beautiful crescent kicks, beautiful just roundhouse kicks in general. He can hit you with those kicks on any level. A wonderful spin kick that can nail you really, really well in the abdomen. When it comes to his punches are very wide and wonky, not the most crisp punches. It doesn't feel like he has a power punch in him. He does have a nice little elbow, though. He can sneak in an elbow here or there, and I think that's just because of his length, because sometimes when he's going in, he can do that. But when it comes down to it, his punches are not really anything too special. Just feels like he has just like these like nice little paw shots that will, you know, hit you, but won't really do that much damage. I feel like he doesn't really have that many punching combinations. He's definitely a good kick guy where he kicks and kicks and kicks and then leads to a punch. But when it comes to straight, pure punching combinations, I don't really see him doing that. He has a wonderful toughness. When you look at Wonderboy Thompson, his toughness is like top notch. Someone that is just extremely tough, won't give up in any situation. Just someone that's very, very strong in that regard. Decent takedown defense, but not the best in the world. He's not really that good on his back, nor is he really that good on top. Wonderboy is one of those guys that is like exciting to watch because if he's standing up and he can be able to prevent takedowns and not go on the ground, he's a threat because he can do almost anything standing up with his legs, and it's just so flashy. It's so fun. He's definitely one of those casual fan fighters. And I like Wonderboy Thompson, just mainly because I think he's fun to watch. Very respectable guy. Seems like a cool dude overall. I have no problem with Wonderboy Thompson. But even though I do like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, I feel like Wonderboy was very hesitant in the first Tyron Woodley fight. And I kind of wish that UFC and a bunch of other organizations weren't so anal about, you know, people showing footage of anything, because I would love to go tape study with you guys on their first fight, because the first fight's a free fight on the UFC channel, but I'm not looking to get flagged here or anything like that, so we ain't gonna do that. But the first fight, what I noticed about Wonderboy, and I get it because that's the part of the karate style. Machida did this a lot, where you kind of wait and see what your opponent does, and then you come in and you leap and you do your attack. When it comes down to it, I felt Wonderboy was not doing what Machida did. Now, Lyoto Machida, if you guys remember, before he's like, I don't even know if Machida's ever going to fight in the UFC again, but Lyoto Machida, whenever someone would make a mistake, Machida was really, really lightning quick to like just take that person out and pay for their mistakes. Like I remember the Thiago Santos fight where Thiago Santos made that huge mistake and then Lyoto Machida just knocked him the fuck out. You know, that's what Machida did so well. But when it came down to like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, I felt Wonderboy was just kind of like, I don't think he's as lightning quick as a Lyoto Machida. Like at one point, I thought like, you know, maybe Wonderboy was like a quick fighter, but then you watch it and he's facing guys like Johnny Hendricks and Jake Ellenberger, and you know, those guys are not like fast world beaters. Like, let's just be real here. They're kind of both kind of flat-footed dudes. So it's kind of like, Wonderboy, is he really that fast as a fighter, and how quick is his reaction time? When you watch the fight with Rory McDonald, you know, a guy who's a little bit more quicker, you can kind of see that he's kind of just like a little hesitant to, you know, pull the trigger sometimes. I wonder why that's the case. You know, being a karate-based fighter, the whole point of being a karate-based fighter is you make the person pay for their mistakes. Because really, to be honest here, when you look at Wonderboy versus Tyron Woodley, it's funny enough as comparable as Rashad versus Lyoto Machida, where it was just like, okay, Rashad better hopes he knocks out Lyoto Machida early in the fight, because Machida is just going to confuse the fuck out of Rashad. Tyron Woodley's like Rashad Evans. Wonderboy is like Lyoto Machida, but it's like Wonderboy didn't do anything to really phase Tyron Woodley, didn't really do anything to counter Tyron Woodley. He kind of just let Tyron Woodley be Tyron Woodley, do what Tyron Woodley wants to do. Let Tyron Woodley dictate the pace of the fight. Tyron Woodley honestly was not losing that fight. I don't know how people could think Tyron Woodley lost that fight. I understood if Tyron Woodley won that fight because I had Tyron Woodley winning that fight. But I could understand why also it became a draw, because there were certain 10-8 rounds. He could easily beat Wonderboy in this fight. And I feel with Tyron Woodley, I think he needs to understand that Wonderboy is not as fleet-footed as a lot of people like to make him out to be. Like, where Wonderboy's reaction time may be a little bit slower than anticipated, and you should take advantage of that and try to get combinations. Now, I'm not trying to say go headhunting and try to knock out Wonderboy early, but really, really start establishing pressure early on in the fight, because I feel like that will affect the psyche of Wonderboy. Normal karate-based fighter where they play defense and they do counter strikes. Then you have it where when you're applying the pressure, Wonderboy will be the one that's going to be aggressor, and then you can be the guy who's the defensive fighter, and then you can be the one that can counter strike and all that other stuff. So really, to be honest here, I feel like if Tyron Woodley starts applying some pressure onto Wonderboy and starts to really, really push the pace, I feel like he can win this fight. Winning, really, to be honest, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, he needs to do what I was talking about earlier, be quicker on his reaction times, you know, set the tone right off the bat, set the distance with your feet and all that other stuff. So when it comes down to it, my official prediction, though, I have Tyron Woodley retaining the title, 3rd round KO. I think he's going to catch Wonderboy Thompson, and Tyron Woodley is going to win me some money. Because I'm probably going to throw a bet on Tyron Woodley, because fuck it, why not? So yeah, Tyron Woodley is my winner for the UFC welterweight championship. If you guys just tuning in, my predictions, my official final predictions for UFC 209. The lightweight belt with Lando Venata and David Tamer. I just said I wanted a good fight because I don't know any of these guys. Heavyweight bout, I want Alistair Overeem. Middleweight bout, Rashad Evans. Lightweight interim title, Khabib. And welterweight title, Tyron Woodley to retain. So, here. All righty then. Make sure to put your predictions in the comment section or in the live chat if you are watching this live. Yeah, I don't know why either, Clayton. I think the judges were just giving Thompson a little bit more rounds than they should have, in my personal opinion. I don't know why. All righty then. So when it comes down to it, we got some big MMA news. Uncle Dana let us know that the Golden Child's back. Before there was Conor McGregor, there is Georges St. Pierre. And GSP is back, and he's not just fighting anyone. Oh, no, no, no. GSP is fighting Michael Bisping for the middleweight championship. Oh, my God. Oh, Yoel Romero. That sucks for you. Jacare. The alligator ain't ever going to get a title shot because the middleweight's going to be stuck in square. It's a Bisping, it's a Diaz, it's a GSP, and it's an Anderson Silva. Knowing that we're stuck in 2011 when it comes to the middleweight division. Bisping looking for those money fights. Hey, man. More power to Michael Bisping, dude. I can't hate on the dude for this, man. It's not his fault. First of all, Dana White gave him the opportunity to choose whoever the fuck he wanted to face for the middleweight title. He chose Dan Henderson. Respectable. I get it. Michael Bisping beat Anderson Silva. You want to give Bisping a fight in the UK as champion. He deserved to choose whoever he wanted. That's fine. Bisping did a good job at trying to get George to fight him. St. Pierre wanted to fight either Bisping or Diaz, from what I know. Fuck it. Why not? So we got now Michael Bisping and GSP for the middleweight title. And it's a win-win situation. Because if Bisping wins, you can either have it where Bisping faces Diaz because he has something over Nick Diaz that Nick couldn't do, and that's beat. So then Nick Diaz wants to fight Michael Bisping and knock him out. You can always do Bisping versus Silva too, because that one was also controversial. You can do Bisping versus Yoel Romero. You can do Jacare versus Bisping if you want, or you can do Jacare versus Yoel Romero. When your GSP wins, you can finally get your GSP and Anderson Silva fight that everyone's been wanting to see. GSP becomes a two-time champion in different weight classes. So, like, he's a two-time welterweight champion, and then he'll be a three-time UFC champion, but he'll be a two-time welterweight champion and a one-time middleweight champion, so a two-division champ in UFC for GSP. So you get a triumphant return out of it. Like I said, possibly a fight with Anderson, maybe a rematch with Nick Diaz. And then fuck it. When he's ready to come back to the welterweight division, you can set up the ultimate title unification of all time where GSP defends the welterweight and middleweight title, McGregor defends the featherweight and lightweight title, and winner gets all the belts. I don't fucking know, nor do I fucking care. So ultimately, Dana White is doing a good job with GSP because GSP is going to come back. If he loses to a champion. So you can't really get too mad. You're like, oh, well, he lost to a champion. He hasn't fought in over like 2 or 3 years. Like, God, when's the last time? GSP last time he fought was like 2013, 14? When was the last time GSP fought? Let me go look this up real quick. I got to look this up. I'm sorry. Normally I would know this off the top of my head, but I honestly can't remember over like 2013. GSP, like, when was the last time Georges St. Pierre? Oh my God, it had to be 2013. 2013 definitely was his last time. Yeah, it was 2013. So he hasn't fought in 4 years. And if he loses to a champion, it doesn't look bad. Because Michael Bisping, it's not like Michael Bisping has looked bad. I mean, Bisping beat, well, okay, let's throw air quotations. He beat Anderson Silva, knocked out Luke Rockhold, who many consider to be the best middleweight today. So, you know, it doesn't look bad for GSP. But if GSP wins, then it's like, oh my God, GSP is a freak of nature. He beat a champion in Michael Bisping. Holy shit. It's a win-win situation. It's a good fight, too. I mean, really, to be honest here, Yoel Romero would be very hilarious to see. To be honest, there's a lot of antics with Yoel Romero where it could just, oh, well. I feel like this is the best route. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me, especially the hardcore MMA fans saying Yoel is getting screwed. But honestly, just have it where he fights Jacare again. It's not that big of a deal. All right, guys. It's late at night. I decided to do this for all the MMA fans. Thank you all for watching this. If you guys did watch this live, leave a like on this video if you guys haven't already. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at ChaseOliver68. Let me know if you guys liked what I do here, because really, to be honest, I know a lot of people, I do a lot of long videos and everything like that, and they don't really comment, and that's fine. I get it, because a lot of you guys just watch this live and you chat. But please, if you guys don't, even if you don't comment on YouTube, at least tweet me if you liked what I did with this. Because if I don't really hear any feedback on certain stuff, I kind of just say, you know what, I ain't going to do it. And it's nothing like, you know, views or anything like that. It's just more of like, I just want to know if what I'm dropping you like, if you like what I'm saying with this UFC stuff, if you like it. Because really, to be honest here, I just want to know, because, you know, there's a lot of other stuff that I want to do on this channel besides just like wrestling and UFC. I decided to do the UFC preview because I just don't have time. But just let me know if you guys like this predictions. Let me know if you want to see more UFC predictions, and I'll bring them to you. You guys just got to tell me. If you guys like them, I'll bring them to you. Anyways, thank you all very much. Hope you guys have yourself a wonderful day. Peace.